When you're working on your product models inside of Blender, it's very easy to run into this simple mistake that's actually destroying your model and ends up leading to a bad result with messy edges and gives you a nightmare while actually modeling. So let's just hop over to Blender and I can show you exactly what it is and how to fix it. Let's go. By the way, go hop in the Discord, link down below. Okay, so let's hop into a new scene. I'm just gonna set my cursor to origin, add in a cube, and then we can do this. I'm gonna add a bevel, and then this is going to help me explain kind of what my problem is. So off the rip, if I right click shade smooth, you can see that the shading is a little bit weird. You can see that these like kind of edges are always going to kind of smooth out, which leads to the face actually not feeling flat. Okay, and you see if I go grab some sort of more like shiny piece, you can see it doesn't feel as flat of a face as if it was to go shade flat. But you can see as well, if I go take this Shift S cursor to selected, I can go add like a circle, make it 6 vertices, RX 90, scale it down. I can delete this face, and then I can just go maybe add like an edge down the center, and then can go fill this in like this. Okay, if I take this and extrude inwards along the y-axis, fill, you can see we don't really have a like that clean of a result. Okay, and also this bevel is never going to end up working very well on these edges and all of that fun stuff. Now, what we can do is we can change this further to kind of fix the shading issue, because you see these edges, well, like this whole face rusher has quite a few shading bugs right now. As mainly just because like if we were to shade flat, you see it's not there, and it's just because there is no protection edge around these bevels. Now, the easiest way to fix this, and can also be used to kind of switch it over to a better way of almost doing this. So I'm basically going to go add another bevel modifier. Now, if I take this bevel, I can just drag it up like that. And you see, so it messes up everything. But basically, I'm going to turn off this top one. This first bevel needs to, let's just bring it down a little bit. And I'm going to change the segments to 2. And I'm going to change the profile to 1. Okay. And you see, what this is actually going to do is going to go and add an edge like this. Okay. Now, we can also just take it. It's probably better to actually do this like from by hand. But you see, if we just go add this bevel, you'll see now, even if we shade smooth, that there are no shading bugs. You can see it's contained to that edge, and you can go basically clamp it in and out, basically with that outer edge like this. Okay. And you can also set this manually. So you can just go Control B to bevel, and then, yeah, so you see profile, well, the shape has to be 1, and then just have 2 segments. And you see that that gives you a lot cleaner result. You might just have to take this scale X. I'm not sure exactly why it's not working properly, but yeah, so get rid of that bevel. But you see that can use to go and clean up those shading issues. And you can actually use that other bevel just to go and actually clean up. You can actually switch this over. Using this method would basically go and give you a, if you just subdivide this instead, you'd see that would actually give you a good result, except for these horizontal edges. But you can see these edges are a lot nicer now, and you can see you can basically go change it off of this. Yeah, so you see that's one way of actually, it's better than kind of using a bevel. Just in terms of you can go control it, and you can control it procedurally with this thing. And if you have specific edges, like you don't want this to be squared off, you can actually just change it to a bevel weight. So I go here, you see now everything's gone back to default. I can just go bevel weight, set it to 1, and then all the edges that actually go select, I can go turn those into squared off. So you see there. Okay, and then same thing, so grab all the bottom ones, mean bevel weight up to 1, and you see now, so now that inside edge is kind of now smoothed off. So then I can basically just go select it, and I can go mean bevel weight, and you see that now that is a lot flatter. But you see, this whole thing is going to basically just give you a lot cleaner result. And when you actually go shade smooth, you're going to get clean shading. You're not going to have any of those shading issues. Yeah, so there we go. Quick little tip for you guys. And by the way, if you are interested, go check the first link in the description to grab my product modeling course. And here is actually a example in like real life. You can see this model looks pretty messy, but because I have gone through and done it properly, when I go subdivide this, you can see every, like all the angles, even not shaded smooth, look very clean, very nice. and it's just because I have some proper bevels on the like everything. So you can see sometimes if you do models like this, you can have the kind of issues where it goes and like separates them off in terms of there. So what you could do, like if you hadn't had it set up from the beginning, like you had this whole edge and then just brought it all the way in, and then just like merge them together. You see, so if you're working with this, you'd see like when I about it, it would be kind of decent, but if you bevel it, it's going to kind of have all the bevels follow the direction. So what you actually want to do is take this edge, and you actually don't have the, unfortunately, you don't have the way of just going and like beveling it or whatever, because if you just bevel it, then it's still going to follow the pieces. But what you could do is use the loop tools to clean it up, or just go take it and scale it out. So you see, if I was to just scale this out like that, and I can just go add an edge loop and let's just go scale it back in, or we can just go Control R, bring it all the way in, GZ. With our vertex snapping, just go GZ like that, and you see there. So now we actually have a good edge that has no problems in terms of following all these different angles. So I'm just going to take this, scale it down to whatever kind of thing I want, and then I can also just scale it in to dial in the value for my subdivision. But you see, if I was to actually go bevel that edge, it's going to be a lot cleaner because now each piece will go and actually follow that section. Whereas if I was to go before on a model like this and I was to bevel, you'll see here all of the bevels kind of go in different directions and stuff, which leads to, again, a pretty messy result. But once you have got your model actually sorted out, you actually have to go render it out, because if you don't have good lighting, don't have a good render, then your product model is going to look atrocious. So click over here to learn how to properly light your product models inside of Blender. See you there. Cheers.